So remember how big of a deal Estrellian was? Are you ready to have your Monster Hunter universe both shattered and expanded?
Yes?
Open your eyes.
What?
I know, right?
They can't do that!
Frontier is real!
Yeah, well, it's kind of happening again. Hello, my fellow hunters. Today something rather exciting has happened. And it is on the level of Estrellian being canonized into mainline Monster Hunter in Sunbreak. Well, okay, not quite on that level, but very, very similar. That was obviously huge because a spin-off game, Monster Hunter Frontier, has a bunch of its own monsters, and a lot of them are really, really cool, but that was always thought as sort of its own lost pocket dimension that we'll never see again. Those creatures, well, fading like the dust of time. But then Sunbreak went, no, we'll rescue one of them. Estrellian, let's go. And that kind of opened the door a crack. Now, technically speaking, anything could happen, at least in regards to Frontier monsters, into mainline Monster Hunter. That's all well and good. But recently, something, as I say, similar has happened. And yes, it revolves around Monster Hunter Outlanders, which I know gets a sort of, reaction from a few people. And on one level, I kind of completely get that, but on the other, having actually played it, it really is like a lot of fun. The movesets are so entertaining. No matter what else you think about the game, the raw weapon mechanics in Outlanders are just fantastic. In any case, though, this isn't about what Outlanders is, it's about what Outlanders has done. See, Monster Hunter Outlanders is part of the Timmy Game Studios, right? And the Timmy Game Studios are part of Tencent. And Tencent were the people in collaboration with Capcom behind a certain Monster Hunter Online. Another Monster Hunter spin-off filled with its own roster of unique new monster creations. Like, for example, the Sky Turtle, that is Tartaronis. And you might see where we're going with this. Recently then, we got the trailer for the third upcoming Monster Hunter Outlanders beta test. And if you do want to be a part of that, you know, sign up and roll that dice. But for the most part, it was just kind of what you'd expect to see, and nothing really too crazy happened in said main third closed beta test trailer. But there was also a secondary trailer. At an event called Tap Tap, some press was shown this, and again, for the most part, it's just kind of regular Outlanders stuff, until the preview of future content. And in that preview, well, there's a few little butterflies fluttering around, and these are called star butterflies. And they are a monster, an insect, a neopteran, technically speaking, that has a synergy with a certain monster called Estrellian, much like thunderbugs do with Xenoverga. And Estrellian is the flagship of Monster Hunter Online, much like Estrellian was for Frontier. And if the actual star butterflies it uses weren't confirmation of Estrellian himself shows up both in his icon in an ecology book and then literally him having a good old pose on a rock. This then confirms that Estrellian is going to come to Monster Hunter Outlanders. Now, on one hand, it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. They have the rights to Monster Hunter Online monsters, so I guess they can bring them across. But on the other hand, it's like, oh my god, Monster Hunter Online unique monsters are going to be huntable for everyone in Monster Hunter Outlanders? That's amazing! Because again, no matter what you feel about the game, getting to hunt these monsters that for most of us, we never thought we would be able to because we never did or could play Monster Hunter Online, you know, especially now given it's shut down and long since shut down, is a really exciting prospect. That opens up so much potential because again, Sky Turtle! This is so cool. Estrellian, then, is technically a question mark monster like gore magala was originally. But let's be honest, he's totally an elder dragon, and he uses the elder dragon skeleton, just without the actual wings. And as you can see, he's very insect-like. He literally has your classic sort of dragonfly wing protrusions coming out of his arms, his back, his tail. He's got a horn covered in a very insect-like pattern. It's a very interesting concept. His title is the Star Wyvern, and having this insectoid dragon that actually uses giant star-shaped butterflies in his whole ecology and encounter is really, really fun. Like, they can block attacks for him, which is just a really unique idea. Then, once he gets real mad, he extends wings that look like the star butterflies, and then everything really gets going. He sends the star butterflies at you that literally detonate once they arrive, and basically he kind of does have that entire shtick that we've always talked about and wanted of a monster using other monsters to fight you. Kind of like the pack tactics that are getting more and more involved clearly in Ascendance, with our new bird wyvern doing its formation and having that as a 5-monster attack into the ground around you. This is one of the earlier kind of feeling the waters with that. Yes, obviously they're just essentially projectiles that are shaped and themed as insects, but hey, in the ecological sense, that's really interesting, and you know that I absolutely love that stuff. But the point remains, is Estrellian is that crack in the door open to Monster Hunter Online. And because, of course, Monster Hunter Outlanders, like Online was, is made in collaboration and with support from Capcom, that obviously lends it an air of officialness. Which means it's, you know, okay, look, let's put it this way. Whatever the % chance of getting a Monster Hunter Online monster in mainline Monster Hunter was last week, it is now, by any given amount, technically speaking, a higher % more now today, thanks to this confirmation/reveal happening. And that's really, really fun. Because honestly, most of the monsters in Monster Hunter Online are really, really cool monsters. And it's always been such a shame to not get them. In fact, Monster Hunter Online was the first Monster Hunter to kind of do the look how shiny our graphics are long before it happened with World. It was like 2013, I believe, when the initial beta started, and having something look actually that pretty in Monster Hunter, I remember it being such a, oh, why can't we play that? Even the weapons had a lot going for them, Monster Online had its own black dragon, and just generally speaking, there is a lot of really worthwhile stuff being kept, including hunts using flying gliders, being on jet skis. There really was a lot of interesting shenanigans that you could get up to. It's a very Monster Hunter-y game. Obviously, there are a lot of problems with it, and a lot of those problems, you might imagine, come from being associated with Tencent, but like a lot of things on a core mechanical and interest level, yeah, it was a really, really fun take on Monster Hunter, and it's never fun when something gets shut down, when something fails, etc. More than anything, for the people that were playing it, that's a really sad day, and obviously everything that was unique to it mostly always dies with it when so many could have enjoyed it, or at least would do in different contexts and different scenarios. Just look at how many hunters in Sunbreak got to experience hunting Espinas, and they otherwise never would, because playing Frontier just isn't a thing for most people. So this is really cool. It feels like kind of like a moment, you know, a Monster Hunter history type moment to actually know that Estrellian is going to live again. Yes, he's going to live again in a spin-off mobile game. Yes, that mobile game certainly does and will have issues, but also it's got a lot of good going for it, and whatever enjoyment it can offer, it is going to be one worth taken up on. So I just thought this was really interesting, definitely, of course, worth talking about, and I'd love to know what you guys think then. And indeed, let me know if you'd like to go into more detail on some of the Monster Hunter Online monsters and which ones we'd actually like to see properly in mainline. For now, though, like you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, Goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.